What's going on? It's yours truly. Just say it with me. They call me Miss TALIAFERRO. How's everybody doing out there? Details continue to emerge about the past and the unfortunate death of Chicago's own Juice Wrld, who was found Sunday. I'm not going to even say the word found. He passed away in a Chicago airport as he reportedly had a seizure that might have even led to cardiac arrest. His autopsy was done Monday morning. We'll find out more details soon. We lost Juice Wrld, a very popular rapper, especially with the youth. Lucid Dreams, big record for him. His career was literally already at the next level. It's just unfortunate. But more details are coming out. We're now finding out just what the heck happened. We're so desensitized to death, especially with rappers who we believe could have been on drugs. We just thought Juice Wrld finally overdosed on some drugs that he was taking, right? Well, it's much more than that. And that's how again, we're so desensitized to the amount of rappers that we've lost just to take either taking bad drugs, fentanyl-laced drugs, just ODing on drugs, whatever it is. We're so used to those stories coming out. We didn't even put in perspective what if there was a whole nother scenario going on, and we're finding out today that it was. So here's the reality of the situation. Juice Wrld and his team, they were flying from Los Angeles, California, all the way to Chicago. And they had a lot of dope in the car, 70 pounds, 41 vacuum sealed bags of weed, 6 bottles of prescription codeine cough syrup, 2 9mm pistols, a 40, a high capacity ammunition magazine, and metal piercing bullets. According to multiple sources, they had all that on the plane, and there could have likely been more. Here's what happened. The pilot of this private jet saw that they had weapons on the plane. He notified law enforcement officials. So, as soon as Juice Wrld and company landed at that Chicago airport, they were met with law enforcement officials. The plane was getting searched. The private jet was getting searched. And to sum up a long story, Juice Wrld reportedly swallowed a few, we don't know the exact numbers, a few Percocets at one time just to avoid the Percocets being caught on him or one of his homies. It is worth noting that 2 of Juice Wrld's homies were arrested. They both have been let go. They paid their bond. They're out now. One of them had the right to carry a weapon. The other didn't, but it's small charges. No drug charges have been filed as of late. So I got questions just like you got questions, right? First and foremost, with that amount of weed on a private jet, let's call a spade a spade. Somebody in Juice Wrld's camp was moving it, right? Let's just put everything together. Juice Wrld was the rapper, the high-profile rapper making a lot of money to be able to afford private jets. He's the guy that could, I mean, this happens all the time. I don't want to act like you stupid, like I'm stupid. Let's call it spade a spade. Rappers hide things with private jets. That's what happens. I'm sorry, that's just, I'm not telling you any breaking news here. Rappers hide things on private jets. The problem with this situation is the pilot, whoever they had flying the plane, he snitched, right? But again, we still have questions. Yo, number one, why is Juice Wrld allowing somebody to put all this weed in his private jet and put him at risk? Okay, so maybe the answer to that question is Juice Wrld trying to be a good friend. Maybe one of his partners involved in the drug game. Maybe it only got nothing to do with one of his close homies. Maybe they're just carrying this for somebody who's going to give them even a bigger bag. There could be a bigger bag at play. Look, I know rappers smoke, but you ain't going through 70 pounds of dope. You ain't going through 41 bags of weed in a short instance, right? Let's call it spade a spade. This was likely for somebody to move. This was somebody who was going to sell this. Okay, so maybe you just put together that Juice Wrld was doing this for a friend of his, right? He's the rapper with the money to afford these means, PJ, all that good stuff. Here's the question that I still can't put together, and maybe as details emerge, we'll be able to figure this one out shortly. Why would Juice Wrld force multiple Percocets down his body? Like, I mean, at the bare minimum, he could have put this on one of his homies. Like, he could have just said, yo, it's not my perks, it's my homie's perks, right? whomever weed this is, just throw it on one of the homies. It would be a long case. They could possibly do a little bit of time behind it. Yes, you're dealing with the feds. This would have been a real big legal case, but nobody's life would have been at risk. Why did Juice WRLD feel the need to force down multiple Percocets at the same time? So I've come together with a couple of conclusions. None of them were good. A, it could have been Juice WRLD's idea to carry the weapons, not the weapons, but the weed on the private jet. He's probably such a good person, and he seemed like he was a good dude. He probably didn't want to put that on his homies, which doesn't make sense to me. He is the breadwinner. It's his talent. He's the reason why they're on that PJ. Okay, let's scrap idea A. Let's bring in B. And this one baffles my mind. Juice WRLD, and we know he's had past issues with perks in the past. He's admitted it in his music, even recent records. We know he's had a lean issue. We know he's had a perk issue. Juice WRLD, for him to think he's about to take 3, 4, however, we don't know the number specifically, for him to take a few Percocets at one time, do you realize how addicted to perks this young man could have possibly been? If he thought he was just finna take 3 to 4 perks or whatever at one time and just be A-okay and not have any major health ramifications, I guess we're now understanding and we're starting to kind of tear back that layer of just how addicted this young rapper was to perks and maybe even other drugs. Because we're just talking about the perks that Juice WRLD took right then and there. That's not to mention the drugs that he could have been on as they already had departed from that flight. Like, he could have already been lit. And then you add more pills. And again, you can also get sick if you ain't eat the right stuff on top of them pills. Like, there's a lot going on right now. But again, if Juice WRLD thought he was just going to take a few perks at one time and be okay, I think that kind of tells you just how addicted this young man at one point in time could have been to perks, to think that was going to fly with no major health ramifications behind it. I'm still lost on why he thought he had to just take those perks. I don't know if they searched him, like it wasn't just one of those things where it shocked him to the point where there was no way for him to drop him on the ground or no way for him to put it on one of the homies. Like, and Juice WRLD doesn't have, I went and did my research, he doesn't have a lone criminal past. It's really pretty much clean. Like, even worst case scenario, fam, if you do get charged with the perks, Juice, you'll be fine. Your life is what we can't get back today. You know, your life has got people grieving, crying. Your life has got your fans all over the world streaming your music. Your life has got people, even in my DMs, asking me, young fans asking me, you got an update on Juice WRLD? Please tell me he's not dead. He's not really dead, is he? Your life is what people are talking about today, fam. Like, the fact that he felt the need to swallow those perks, I think brings up a whole different conversation. I'll keep you guys up to date as more details come in. A lot of things going on here. Very interesting case. And I believe this one is just getting started, unfortunately. And now the death of Juice WRLD. Yes, so again, to just kind of bring everything around circle, Juice WRLD wasn't just on drugs and randomly had a seizure, which reportedly led to a cardiac arrest. No, what happened was Juice WRLD and his team, they were on a PJ. The pilot ratted on them for having weapons on it. Maybe he smelled a little weed as well. And when they got to that Chicago airport, the feds were waiting on them. And when the feds got to him, reportedly that's when Juice WRLD decided to throw down a few Percocets at one time. That's when he had that seizure in the airport. That's how he was able to get to the airport safe and sound. And then again, reportedly, they were able to keep Juice WRLD alive when he left the airport heading to the hospital. He was alive and breathing. Again, when you throw down drugs like that, I mean, you got to really push those. I'm no health expert. You got to really get those things out the system immediately. With maybe the previous drugs that he had been on, maybe what he was on at that moment, mix it in, all those different drugs and stuff like that. You just asking too much of EMTs to try to fight for this young man to get him back to a good spot. It just was too much going on. I thank you guys so much for the time, love, support. Please drop your comments on this one. I want to know what you're thinking, your thoughts, because I got a lot on my mind as well. We'll save it for the next video. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids, they tuned in.
We locked in right now, Mr.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV.